Hello, Keith Rucker here at VintageMachinery.org. So this should be the final episode in the series on making the gears for the Blacksmith blower. And all that's really left to do right now is to put it all back together, reassemble everything, and then test it out. I'm to the point where I'm ready to do that. And just a couple of comments, I guess, before we get through. Now, I did go ahead and I've spent probably the last hour or so dry fitting all this back together and just making sure everything was a good fit. And I will tell you guys, I did have to go back and on these bearing journals, parts of these shafts that are running inside the bearings in there, I had to do a little polishing on them. I mean, they were really close, but there was a couple of them were just a little bit tight. So I polished them down, probably just took a couple of thousandths off of a few of them. And I've already kind of dry fit everything together. It looks like it's going together good. I think we're going to be ready to go with this. So let's get in here and show you guys the process of putting this back together. So the first thing we need to do is assemble this little piece that goes in here. There's two gears that are kind of bolted onto this. The first one is this little small pinion gear, which drops down into this hole. And there's an oil hole there, so I'm going to go ahead and lube these up real good while I'm doing them. Anyway, that drops down in there. Next, the little phenolic gear is going to go in here. It gets captured into this, and again, I'm going to go ahead and put a little oil on this. But this one drops down right here and meshes there. So this gear here is the last gear in the gear train, and this is the shaft that the fan blower will go on. So with those two in there, you got a little piece here that's got the shaft on there that supports this little small pinion gear. And flip it over, and there's a couple of bolts on this side that just tighten this down. So we'll go ahead and get those tightened up. And everything is spinning good. Looks good. All right, let's go over here to the main part that the other gears go in. All right, next gear to go in is the first gear in the gear train. This is what the handle will go on. And I'm just going to put some oil on that. This gear here drops down in there. And that feels good. And next one here, same thing, we'll put some oil on that. In fact, I'm just going to go ahead and just oil these up real good. This small pinion goes in there like such. Put that oil behind it and didn't want to go down. The oil was actually holding it up, but that feels good. All right, so with those two in there, the assembly that we just had, it's then going to drop down on top of this. And before we put it on there again, I'm going to just oil these up real good. This is all going to run in oil, so but I'm going to go ahead and start out with a good coat on it. So this shaft is going to drop down into this hole here. These two are going to drop into the top up here. And these should all line up. Got the same thing going on. I got that hydraulic pressure behind and that one gear. So let me get it to work down. All right, I think that's all the way down. And now there's three bolts that are going to tighten this down. One there, and one there. I've got my 8-point socket to fit on these square head bolts. And we'll plug these up. So everything's bolted back together here. And as you can see, the gear train is all working very good. So we're going to go ahead and finish putting this back together. So the gearbox is just going to drop down on here and bolt in place. And there is a machined groove all the way around this that should make a good seal to hold the oil. This is going to have oil running in the bottom of the case, but I want to make sure it's not going to leak. So I'm just going to put a little dab of some gasket material around this, just some silicone type product, you know, just enough to make sure that we got a good oil seal all the way around it. Oops. There you go, it drops on just like such. Got a long bolt back here in the back. Unfortunately, whoever took this apart, we lost one of the bolts. I was not the one that took this apart, so I'm going to put a regular bolt in there for the time being and hope we can find the original one. And we'll go ahead and tighten these up. All right, next step is to install the fan. This just goes on there as a set screw. I did grind a flat on this shaft for the set screw to tighten down on, and let's tighten that up. All right. Now the other half of the blower fits on here, and we'll lay this down flat on top of it. And there are 6 screws that hold this in place. So it says clearly on the side, fill with oil to air cock, and here's the air cock down here, which I have opened. So we want to basically fill an oil level down here. There's an oil filler in the top, a little spring-loaded thing that has a spout in there to keep trash out. But that's going to be hard to get the oil in, so I'm just going to take it out for the moment. We're going to put a little funnel in here. And what I've got here is some 140 weight gear oil. And we're just going to fill her up. All right, she's dripping oil. Turn that off. And we'll let it roll. Put the plug back up in the top. Let's see what it looks like. She's doing what she's supposed to do. The gears sound good. And as with any gear job, the more you run this, those gears will kind of run into one another. It's pretty smooth right now, but it will become more smooth as time goes by.
quietly.
No, you can talk. In fact, I'd like for you to talk. Tell me what you're doing.
We're just going to bring this up to a bright heat and punch it for a demonstration for the kids. So they can see what punched and drifted means. We'll let that soak and we'll get a chisel and bring it up to a little better point. It's still a little off that fire. What I can do, I can cool that side out just a little bit. See if I can. All right, now. Let's see if we can bring the hole back over some now. You need to take another heat?
Yeah, I think we need another heat on that.
Yep. But that's centered a little better.
Yep.
Cleaner right then. I can live with that. All right, we'll go down then back up. There's our plug. It is, it did well. All right, let's see if I need to straighten that in before I take that out. Bring that over some. Close enough for my house. All right, let me heat it up and drift it a little bit, and we'll call that good.